A male gymnast has jumped to Simone Biles' support in the acrimonious trans spat between Riley Gaines and the USA Olympic hero. Over the weekend, Biles, 28, and Gaines, 25, engaged in virtual combat after the gymnast attacked the conservative activist harshly. After the former swimmer chastised a Minnesota high school softball team for playing with a transgender player, Biles started the verbal spat Friday night by comparing Gaines to a guy. Gaines responded angrily to the 11-time U.S. Olympic medalist's article with a barrage of scathing criticism. Sam Phillips, a University of Illinois gymnast who is openly gay, responded to the political pundit by calling her reasoning null and void. This entire argument between Riley and Simone is pointless because the right's argument is that she would lose medals in the men's gym division, but in fact, she would steal gold from several of the top male vault and floor workers. In a post on X, the 23-year-old stated, "So their base is flawed." And yes, also null and void because Riley GB is a bad-hearted, loser mentality, untrustworthy, ignorant, and hateful individual. Two-time All-American Phillips stepped up his support for bikes, stating that the gymnastics legend could compete on an equal footing with men. Vault and floor. Phillips told Outsports, definitely. And to be honest, given her body type, perhaps even rings would be appropriate if she had been exposed to them early on. If we restrict women in all sports from the beginning, we have no idea what they could achieve. The right-wing mob was flooding in with unfounded claims, arguments, and accusations, so I had to mute the comments. You can't argue with them when you know they don't understand the facts or background of transgender athletes and gymnasts. They only know what they've been fed, he continued. I appreciate Simone standing up for people who don't have many advocates. For the athletic community, which genuinely understands that sports are about cooperation and competing for shared goals, I believe this was a major victory. As Simone mentioned, if there isn't room, we will find a way to make it. However, hurling names and going out like Gaines did just serves to incite hatred and toxicity. And in sports, that has no place. At the 2022 NCAA Championships, Gaines and transgender swimmer Leah Thomas memorably tied for 5th place. After her tenure with the NCAA, she went on to establish a career as a political analyst for Fox and Outkick. Donald Trump has praised her campaigns, welcoming her to the White House with the Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports executive order in February. The gymnast posted, "You're truly sick, all of this campaigning because you lost a race," in response to Biles's first scathing punch at Gaines, which ignited the verbal sparring match. Sore loser, plain and simple. You ought to be supporting the trans community and maybe figuring out how to make sports more inclusive or opening up a new space where trans people may feel secure participating in sports. Perhaps there should be a transgender division for every sport. But instead, you harass them. No one in athletics is safe near you, that much is certain. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male, she then tweeted at Gaines once again. Later, Gaines reacted by bringing up the horrifying sexual abuse that pedophile Dr. Larry Nassar inflicted on Biles and other gymnasts. Gaines wrote, "She believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings, despite the horrifying sexual abuse at Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against being caused by one man. If your inclusive dream came true, do you know how many gold medals you would have? 0. Biles has remained mute in the wake of Gaines' savage retorts and has yet to comment further. That hasn't stopped other characters from joining the fray, though. Legendary motorcyclist Danica Patrick supported Gaines, claiming to have been red-pilled, that is, misinformed. Stephen A. Smith, however, asserted that Gaines' startling allusion to Nassar had gone too far. That's a little too much. One problem is discussing transgender women participating in sports. Gaines, you lost all credibility when you used someone like Larry Nassar, one of the most reprehensible people we've ever seen, to descend that low. Smith went on to label her comments cruel, before acknowledging that her stance should give us all cause to pause. Before mentioning the dominance of Gaines' former collegiate competitor Leah Thomas, Smith stated, "The reality is that it is a disservice to women in a lot of people's eyes, that men transitioning to women get to compete in women's sports." Smith remarked, "What Riley Gaines is discussing does seem a little unfair. She has the right to voice those opinions without Simone Biles attacking her in that manner. There are many women who have a right to feel the way to feel like Riley Gaines feels," he continued. Under the pretense of providing treatment at the now-closed Caroli Ranch National Team Training Center in Huntsville, Texas, Nassar, a top physician at Michigan State and with USA Gymnastics, sexually abused young women, including Biles.